All right.
And we are live.
Okay.
Okay, so this should not, don't even pay attention to your screen.
Mm-hmm.
So, welcome back. We are live here on the Golden Rule podcast.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Meg Le Vu.
My name is Tony Chang.
And we are changing it up a little bit. Like, we're learning, we're getting better with the setup. We now have, I think, a better dynamic here on the table. It's a lot better than being in the bed. So, we're still figuring out the audio. So apologize for the really bad audio on the last one. But yeah, we're going to keep improving it. So how's it going, Tony?
It's going good. However, let's get straight to the topic of what we want to talk about today, which is, okay, it starts with this. Can boys and girls be just friends? Yes. And another topic we have to discuss is, can you trust your man or can you trust your wife with the opposite sex in a work environment
or any environment
mm-hmm. Okay
okay
so can boys and girls be friends, just friends?
Yes. Well, I've always grown up with boy friends for some reason. I told you yesterday that I've always been a tomboy. I've always been comfortable and just leaning more to the masculine spectrum of me. I think everybody has masculinity and femininity within them. It's just, where do you lie on the spectrum? And I like going, now in my 30s, I like going from masculine to feminine to whatever, like whatever I feel. It's my choice, right? Like whatever I feel that day. If I want to be girly today, cool. If I want to go out and do my hair and do my nails, cool. And then there are other times where I'm like, yeah, lift some shit, or like go work on some stuff, or fix something, or invent something, like, or be like my dad, you know, like, there's no judgment upon me now. I give myself permission to go there. So for me, that's kind of how I look at friendships. It's like I just naturally gravitate, I think, towards male friends because that's how I grew up. I had always one guy friend, always. And that person was always like, I don't know, just you know, accepting of me. Oftentimes they did have crushes, but like
you had the crush.
No, they did.
I know they did.
They did, yeah. Until I was like, oh, you're like my brother, that whole thing.
And then boom.
And then boom, now we're like not friends anymore. But that was like, that was kind of like me going like, I mean, I had a lot of boy toys, you know, like I had G.I. Joes, I had Batman action figures. I still have action figures. I still play with Legos. I still build Gundam sets, you know what I mean? So I still have a very masculine affinity. You know, I game, you know, I play video games and all this stuff. And not to say that it's not for women. And that's the thing. I don't see it that way, where I have to place myself in categories. I just have a natural affinity towards male things. I think kind of masculine sometimes maybe, and maybe that's attractive to some male counterparts because they're like, oh cool, this girl digs whatever, and I can talk about sensitive stuff, and I can be vulnerable with this person. So it's like, to me, it's best of both worlds. At the same time, I block myself from connecting with other women because I'm not used to it, or I'm not comfortable. And I've been trying to do this for the last, I don't know, 10 years or something, as I'm here trying to build relationships with other women. But I do always feel that I reserve myself, and I don't feel girly enough or feminine enough to be on their level. Yeah, I can be masculine because that's just how I've always been. So it's easy for me to make guy friends. It's easy for me to talk to men. But with women...
But can you just be friends, though?
Yes, of course. I mean, that's always my intention.
You can, but can the boy...
I don't know. I can't speak for men. I'm not a man. So how do you feel?
No. You can't.
You cannot?
No.
Okay.
A boy cannot.
Why? A boy cannot.
A boy can't.
Distinction.
Yeah.
A man can?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because a boy is going to be freaking in it for himself. He's going to be... Like, come on. It's not just about getting laid or getting the pussy and shit. You know?
Pussy.
It's about, you know, like as a guy, as a boy, you just want that connection, or you just want that hope that, hey, you know, maybe if I linger, or maybe if I'm with this girl, she'll love me, or she'll like be into me. How do I know? Because I was that fucking boy. You know? I was the one that was always trying to be friends with girls, but it doesn't work. Like, I would always be the one to be attached, you know? Because like, I'm lonely as fudge, you know, like I'm lonely, but also it's like the opposite sex. And it's weird because they end up being a cool person. Like the girl that I'm friends with, like I want more, you know, like, but then it gets to the point where I'm like, oh, hey, I like you, you know? And then she goes, ooh, just like you said, like,
I don't like you.
I don't see it like that, you know? I'm like,
Yeah.
fudge, peace, you
The
know?
friend
Like,
zone, yeah.
so that's why it's kind of like, it's hard. It's hard to be. I honestly don't think it's possible unless you're really like just you're both not attracted to each other, but that's never really the case. I think.
Well, I don't know. I have many male friends, and I feel like I talk to them more than their wives.
Yeah.
Because it's easier for me. I try. I really try to get down to that level. Like when we can talk, like with my some of my girlfriends, like we can talk about, and a lot of them are mothers, so that's really hard for me too. I'm like, I have no, not that I don't have any interest, but I have no. Yeah, I have no interest in like the mother talk because that's not my jam, right? I want to talk about business or let's talk about relationships or sex or whatever, that's fine. But the mother thing is hard for me to connect on. One, because I decided I'm not going to have children. So that's something that's not even on my radar. I understand it, I appreciate it, all that stuff, but like that's hard for me to connect with my other girlfriends on that level because, yeah, I'm not there with you.
True.
I mean, I can sympathize and I can be like, wow, that's awesome. I love seeing you as a mom, but that's about it. And then there's not much for me to go with there.
I want to ask you though.
Yeah.
Like, how did you feel when like you said, "Ooh, you're like a brother to me," you know? And then he's like,
with the other friends?
Yeah, like your friends that were boys, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, peace out." Like, did they ghost on you after? Like, you were.
No, I just always feel like they're always wanting something now that I can't give them.
You felt
and
that?
like, yeah, in high school though. I mean, it's boys and girls shit. Like in high school, there was a person, and even like there was even one time, like this is bad of me, that because I care about my friend, we like tried for honestly like 2 hours to go like be boyfriend girlfriend. Okay, let's try it. Because I feel
he's
bad,
lucky. He's
or
lucky
I feel
he tried it.
guilty, and then I remember him being so excited, like he wanted to call me babe all of a sudden. I was like, I don't like this. Yeah, you know, like you're all like you've and that was my bad, like not to say and set my boundaries for myself and be very clear. And I think the same can be said for men. Like if your intention is to only be friends to get the girl, that already feels like you're being duped for the girl, for the woman. Like, oh, you're just my friend, or you're just being helpful, or you're just being a friend for that.
For something
that he wants, right? Yeah. And so oftentimes I think that's why people get hella friend zone instead of it happening naturally, because I'm sure it happens naturally. Like Kevin and I were friends first. And he actually got to know my family. He knew my 2 closest cousins first before we got together. So and it was like natural. It felt natural anyway, you know, like, oh, be my roommate, like we go to the same school, like here, but you know, we were friends first for a solid couple of months before it turned into something, the love of my life, basically. So, which I'm really grateful for, like, and me too, I wasn't looking for anything, but I was just like, oh, remember yesterday I told you I wrote down everything I want in my partner, and then I met him the following, like, couple of months later, maybe like almost a year later. So I think it's up to like, what's your intention? Can men and women be friends?
Men and women can, yes.
Men and women can be friends.
But I think boys and girls, like, wait, you brought up something where boundaries, right? I think from the get-go, if the girl is not interested in being a lover with that boy, right? Then I think it's cool if there is like, look, hey, just want to let you know up front, like, I just see you as a friend. You know, and it's like if the boy is cool with that, he's like, well, all right then. You know? And then at least that way, it's kind of like, as a girl, because I'd imagine they were hurt because you're like you're confiding in a male friend and getting insight, you know. But at the same time, if he just leaves, as a girl, I'd feel like, oh fudge, like what the hell was that for? You know, he just used me. You know. So I think that whole boundary thing is cool because one of the girls that I knew in life, yeah, I was starting to get a crush on her, but she's like, oh, by the way, like, we're just gonna be friends. And I'm like, okay. And that was kind of like less pressure on me.
So she felt something.
I felt like, oh, all right then. Like, it's cool.
Yeah.
I don't have to feel that. So I take it back. I think you can. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of like the expectations in the get-go.
Yeah.
Because if you don't say anything,
yeah,
naturally, I think one or the other is gonna fall in love or have that connection, and one of them is gonna get hurt.
I see. Even okay, so what I also want to put out there too is like, just because you're going through the motions, which I know is hard, just like we look at actors who get into relationships and actually marry their co-stars because they're going through the motions of falling in love. However, when you're doing something like a show together like this, or you're working together, your coworkers or something like that, like that's really up to the individual too.
True.
Like, do you have the self-respect, the integrity, the decency to respect the boundaries of the other person and yourself and what, like, if I'm in a relationship or not, right? Like, because I am married, like, I'm married, like, to me.
Yeah.
Without you being here, you could be anybody. Yeah. Honestly, Tony, you can be anybody. Anybody can be outside right here. I'm married and I made a commitment. I made vows. I love my husband. So bam, I set boundary for myself. Yeah. I don't care who sits over here on the outside, who comes into my life. Like, that is it. And that's how I run my life. Yeah. So people need to step up and take responsibility and not say, just because we're going through the motions or we're like, you know, doing things together, you know, just it's going to be natural. Like, I'm going to fall in love. Like, what the fuck? Step up. Like, it's your responsibility if you have the commitment in your own life, like how you run your life, how you give your love, how you receive love, to make those known. Like, you know, trust. Trust not only like in, like, trust yourself for sure. Like, know where you stand. And I think that's really important on both sides. Of course. For men and women. Like, that's just me. Like, to think that somebody would think of me maybe being a situation where we do something like this, and this is work. This is not even like an actor going on set and doing a love scene. You know what I mean? You know, to think that somebody would think of me to break my marriage, to break my commitment. You know, that I would not be. I'll have the integrity. So that's just me. I'm like, psh. I mean, if I didn't show that I am trustworthy, okay, that's on me to show that I love my husband, that I am committed. Like, I have no problem there to show you. You know what I mean?
But I have a question. So, like, let's say a girl does think that of you slightly. How does that even make you feel, though?
Just hurt. First I feel hurt and pensive, like, oh, what am I doing? Like, did I do or say something or?
But it's not you though. That's what I'm learning.
No, it's okay. I think it's valid for somebody to feel a certain way. It comes from somewhere. If I'm on the other side, right? If I'm on the other side and I see my partner being so overwhelmingly affected by another person, right? I said that to you. You were sitting right here talking about your issues, and I was like, dude, it hurts me a little bit that you're the one that can speak to Kevin. You're not even a woman. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. It's somebody else. It's not me. It's not me being the one to change my husband, because my ego says it needs to be me, right? Now that I told you that. And I said, actually, no. It's okay that I feel like that. I can address it and I can make awareness of this feeling. I think it's valid. Jealousy is a very valid feeling. And then go, actually, you know what? For the grand picture of things, if this is what it is, if this is what it takes for Kevin to grow, which means I grow. So what the fuck am I complaining about? You know what I mean? Like, my ego is trying to protect itself, saying, oh, it's not you. You couldn't do it. You couldn't say it. You weren't the one. Like, you like this, attacking me and making me feel jealous and not worthy or whatever. like, oh, it had to be somebody else. It had to be so, like, oh, it's not me again. I don't give a fuck now. I'm like, that's so dope. Tony, please help my husband.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Tony, please help me, help us, right? Like, or anybody. If you can help us, awesome. So that's how I feel now. But before, yeah, I feel that. I feel that tension and that he's slipping away from me. Remember when we first started hanging out, you guys would just go. I'm like, I don't see him till the morning. I'm like, okay.
That's a big ass change. Yeah.
Right? And now he's like, okay, you know, tell me the plan today. What are we going to do today? You know, giving me space to have a place in our marriage and our relationship. And I say, okay, this is what we're doing today. And then, okay, after, you want to hang out? Yes, thank you. Okay. That's right? Cool. And like all this change has been happening because of the work that we're putting in together, because you, the outsiders, coming into our marriage and bringing the outside perspective and giving us tools and exercises and affirmations and shit that we can use to like really put in the work and look at the results. You want to talk about results, like panties be dropping, that's results, you know what I'm saying? Like other than that, it's like not only the bedroom analogy, but even in our working relationship, like him giving way to me and me feeling now that I'm free, I can give so much more. So much more. So to me, it's just a matter of like, you know, addressing those real feelings, valid feelings, to feel jealous, to feel resistance, valid, you know, correct, right. You can feel that, it's okay. But to recognize that there's a grand picture, there's a bigger picture to this. There's a bigger picture to this show. We don't give a fuck about views, right? Like, yes, views, cool. Yeah. But honestly, the revelations and the words that I get to use right now in front of you, and even I'm so comfortable with him here. Like, maybe because I was like doing, you know, directing you to let's go do it in the bedroom.
Yeah, maybe.
And close the door, right?
Yeah.
So I think, you know, when that idea of jealousy was presented to me, like, shit, what did I do? I need to be aware. It's never a one-way street.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, and even though my intent was not to be malicious or to, you know, invite jealousy, I need to be aware. You know what I mean? Why did you do it there? I don't know. What did I tell you? It was acoustics, right? That was my reason to do it in the bedroom. I'm like, well, fuck it. I mean, like, we're using this anyway.
Yeah.
So now it's just like being aware and being considerate, no matter what, no matter how silly it may seem to me or not an issue to me, I must still consider my family and who's here, who's a part of this team, and what this show and how it affects the others in my life. Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's why I was pensive to do the show today. But what'd you tell me?
Well, I mean, again, this all came from my wife. Like, one of the reasons that she kind of had trouble with me doing the show with you was that a hint of jealousy, right? And then, but then the thing is, I told her, or I shared with her, hey, you know, like, I understand. I see your jealousy as valid. I didn't push it off like so many boys do. You know, it's like, don't worry, it's fine. But it's not fine for her. So I was like, okay, share with it. And like, where did it all come from? And I think it helps because she felt listened to. And then also now we're changing things up. Like, it's no longer in the bedroom, which is cool. You know, like, we're making changes because we respect each other's like views and like personal space or, you know, feelings. So I think it's good. And then the reason why we are doing this show today is because it needs to be addressed, you know. I think it has a lot to do with communication. Like, why do people feel jealous? And like, try to get the perspective from the other person as to why we actually did this show in the bedroom in the beginning. You know, and like you said, it's because acoustics. You know, you want the sound to be great and solid. But maybe Cindy didn't know that. Maybe my wife didn't know that, you know? But now she will. She'll listen to this. And then another thing that I wanted to talk about is that why do like married men cheat? Or even why do married women cheat? And honestly, like in my marriage, like in the beginning, like I wasn't happy. And we've been married for what, like 8-9 years already, you know, but I wasn't happy like most of them. And I even found myself like talking to her friends, like seeing if the grass is actually greener on the other side, you know? And it's kind of like, yeah, even some of them had boyfriends already. And this was just me seeking happiness and pleasure for myself. Like, I had no regard for that. Oh, shoot, how would Cindy feel if she sees me like DMing or like texting, like deeper talks with her friends? Like, I didn't even have a regard for her feelings because I was sad. You know, I wasn't happy.
Why were you not happy?
It just comes down to like, I just wasn't happy in my life. Like, I didn't get the respect that I wanted from her, even appreciation. And I felt like I wasn't good enough, you know? And then I would just venture off in my mind, you know, and kind of justify that, hey, it's okay, you know, like I can talk to them. I'm not doing anything, you know? But my heart was starting to kind of go, you know? Thank God, like, thankfully, nothing happened, you know? But at the same time, I just want to dissect why that happened. And it's kind of like the thought process. And so a lot of it had to do with like lack of communication. You know, I really didn't understand how to make her happy. You know, I didn't even know that I was such a selfish person. I didn't want to admit it, maybe.
Nobody wants to admit that.
No, I didn't want to admit that. And it's like, looking back on that, I was like, damn, you know, that's hurtful as shit.
That's crazy to say, yeah.
But I mean, like the difference between that boy that I was and who I am now is that I am happy because I've learned what makes my wife happy, and I feel and I am becoming more of a man to her, for her, you know. And like, even if like her same friends or even if other girls were to talk to me, right? I am secure with myself. I am happy enough. I'm more than happy enough to be like set boundaries for myself and that person. And I don't care about being flattered anymore because my wife is all I care about. I hear enough from my wife, the great things and appreciation and respect from my wife. I'm set. That's why I got married, you know? So at the same time, it's like, that's what I did. I thought the grass was greener on the other side, but what the fudge? Like, I was just not even tending my own field, my own grass, you know, with my wife.
Right.
So I think, in a way, you gotta understand that boys or like men don't just cheat out of nowhere. It's also an accumulation effect. Same how wives may just leave their husbands because they've had enough.
Right.
But I think it all just really, the foundation is communication, understanding, and like one of them, right? Let's be realistic. I don't think both the husband and wife is going to just change together. That's rare, you know? Usually it has to be one person that steps up.
Leading.
It doesn't matter if it's the wife or the husband. Like, screw that, you know? Like, one of you, if you really care for the marriage, one of you needs to step up.
Let me tell you something that men and women probably often feel, or boys and girls often feel when we're faced with, one of us has to step up.
Yeah.
So when that happens, it often feels like when you're in the thick of it, it's like, say you're in an argument, it's the same argument, and you feel defeated. And once again, you're the more maybe, you're supposed to be the leader in this case because somebody else is not stepping up. It often feels like, why must I be the one? Again, why must I be the one to lead you? And that is such a defeating and very powerful feeling that I think the ego introduces, where it's like, but how come I'm the one always leading? How come I'm the one always leading, right? So I think something that would be really helpful and that I want to make note of is I felt that this week, maybe twice. Where it's like, why am I the one to be the leader? And you know what? It's because you love them.
Yeah.
Bottom line, like, make shit easy for you, and it is easy. Once you say that out loud to yourself, I would say because you love them, or because you support. That's always for me a great tool that I'm using when my ego goes, why are you the one always doing it and leading? And I'm like, well, because that's what it takes. End of story. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Okay, like, shut that ego up. Because you love them. That's why. And then at the same time, trust and know that because you're putting in real work and you're not going down the same path, because sometimes we think we're doing the right thing, but actually we're prejudging, we're assuming, and we're thinking things like, why am I the one? And that is actually not, in the direction that you want to go. And then you're stuck again thinking this vicious cycle, like, why am I always the one? It's because you're asking that damn question, right? Why am I always the one to lead you? And it's because you yourself, in my experience, you yourself have not really led fully. You've led kind of like little bit, but you're leaving them somewhere along the way because this question enters your mind. You know what I mean? I would find myself thinking about that this week, and then like little things will set you off, right? Because you've been together forever. So little things will set you off, and it's really easy to go the other way and snap back and be reactionary and crocodile brain, right? Crocodile reaction. And then you have to be the one to also lead yourself, like catch yourself in that you would normally have a reactionary snap back as well. And you can change that. You have 100% control to change that reaction. And that would mean boop, going the other way, right? It's really easy to just keep going like this, But that's what I found. So you tell yourself, you have a bottom line thing for you that works for you, that speaks for you, and you go, because you love them. If that question enters your mind, you're like, oh, okay, whoop, and then you say something different. It transforms your words. To be something less reactionary, more understanding, more compassionate. And what happens? That gets a different response. The response that you actually want. And you're like, oh, that shit was easy. Cool, I'm going to remember that next time. And then you get better and better and better to where it's like non-existent. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is.
Well, what's the fear, right? What's the fear in not wanting to change yourself? And expecting the other person to change.
Expecting the other person to change. I think that should just erase. It will. It will happen. Yeah. It's in you. Again, like you said to me, it starts here. Right? If you're out there and you're like, that person needs to change.
Yeah.
You're not here.
Yeah.
You're out there. You're somewhere else.
But you know that even saying it out loud, right? It just sounds like, wait, if you really don't like this, why don't you change it yourself? Or why don't you be the change? And it sounds so cliche, right? But it's like, you've been the change in your marriage. You've been the one to step up and change yourself. The way you react and process and perceive Kevin, your husband now, right? Compared to before where you just, he's not changing or it's not working.
Because I didn't change.
Yeah. So like, how do you feel knowing that, hey, it was all within you?
It's power. It's a wonderful power. And not power like I own you and I can control you. No. It's power in myself that I know that I can control my mind, my reaction. Because this shit is powerful, right?
This amazing thing,
This amazing thing can make you feel like shit or make you feel like you own the world. So why not own the world? You know what I'm saying? And that's it. You just, it seems hard to people to be like, oh, it's so cool that you think like that, but I could never do that. Right there, you just, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, then that's going to happen for you.
Then that's going to happen. You know, I, like, how can I, like, all I can do is do me.
Yeah.
If I can inspire you, that's great. That's great.
But person, you know?
I'm at peace with you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm at peace with it. Yeah. I have enough to worry about me. Like, dude, my mind is powerful. Damn. I got to put all my energy here sometimes until it becomes a little bit easier. Then maybe I can help people, right? I'm feeling that with my husband where where I'm using the right words finally. And that's how I can help him, is speaking his language, is understanding him, is giving space to him, right? Giving respect to him. Respect. I always say, I respect it, man. I respect your idea. I respect that. Dope. Like, using the right words. When so often before, I didn't use very helpful or encouraging words. There were so many ways that I would withhold myself, like I told you yesterday, right? But now I'm like, I'm here for you. I'm giving for you. Like, and I feel good about it because I have so much to give. Versus before, it felt like, who's gonna, look out for me, and who's gonna, what about me? I would always feel. And now I'm like, I'm good. I have so much to give now. For my friends and for my husband, for my business, like I have so much to give. But, I had to put in the work, right? And then not only mentally, but like physically, now we're trimming the fat of our businesses and making, the actions back up our words and our thought process and everything. So that's it for me. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because for me yesterday, I think in the past, what would happen is like Cindy would react a certain way, like come out very aggressive or strong. And then I would just react to that.
Yes.
And then just be like, what the fudge? Like, where did, like argue? And it's just like heated, And then it was a lose-lose situation. But recently, I've been like, as I've been strengthening my mind and getting better in conversations and being a man, right? I allow her to just express all that.
Yeah.
And I feel all that. However, instead of just lashing back, I ask her, I understand that. I understand your frustration. I accept where she is in the emotional and mental state.
Yes.
Then I go, hey, just wanted to bring to your attention that you came off pretty aggressive. Just wanted to let you be aware of it and kind of let that marinate in her mind. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, and then I follow it up with like, so where did that come from? Like, why are you feeling that way? And then she'll go off and be like, look, I'm stressed. I'm overwhelmed. It's not that surface value.
Yes.
That surface statement or topic that she's angry about. It's deeper than that.
It's something else.
And like it's so uplifting and encouraging, and I feel power to just be able to like
help
her and like ask questions instead of overpowering her, because I thought that was power. Being able to be like, what the fuck, who can yell louder? Who can make the other person feel more submissive? Who's gonna say sorry to me first? She did. So she's the weak one, I'm the strong one.
Oh, we had that too before.
You feel? But then it's like, no. Like now I'm just learning that, let's hear it out. Let's listen to her. Figure out why she feels that way. And then just go deeper and just understand where she's coming from.
Yes. I mean, Cindy and Kevin are very similar. So when I was hearing what she was saying and taking it all in, and seriously, like after that talk, I just thought about it all day, Tony. Like it bugged me. And I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And I think that's important for anybody, is to first not doubt and get down on yourself, but bring awareness to yourself first, because everything starts here. And so I was thinking, and yes, so let me get back to topic, is Kevin and Cindy are very similar in the way that sometimes when they say what's bothering them, it's actually something else.
But it comes off what? How does it come off?
It comes off like it's about you.
Yeah.
Or like if it feels like I'm attacking you, it's not really. It's actually coming from a place of hurt and maybe fear.
Her or his.
Right. His, like something else. And as the partner of this person, it's our honor to recognize that their behavior pattern and help them you know, I say pull a Tony and ask the questions, you know,
I
like,
busted a Tony too.
yeah, pull a Tony, ask the questions and go, okay. And I follow the trail back to the source, and we can address the source. And I feel that, you know, sometimes they don't want to talk about this issue here, that's the source of it, because it feels like a secret, or they, you know, somebody won't understand, or it's weak, or it's a vulnerable place to be, or nobody knows but you, and it's a very lonely place to come from. And that comes out and manifests in a lot of anger and frustration and maybe irrational fears, irrational attacks on other people.
Yeah.
And for us to recognize that, one. Second is to show them the light and that it's okay. Not to be like a messiah, but just to be like, I've been there. I know what that feels like. Like, I recognize that. I acknowledge that. And it's safe and it's okay. You know what I mean? I don't like, and then to humble ourselves and be like, I don't know everything. You know what I mean? Like, I want to show you that I'm here for you, and then I support you, and then I want to listen. And again, like you said, listen, and
yeah.
I'm not here to fix stuff, you know. I can't touch that sometimes, like, you know, whatever the deeper issue is.
Yeah.
It's not my place to touch that, and I acknowledge that. However, you and I in a relationship, that's what concerns me 100%. So let me try to help you. Let me listen. Let me be here and support you in whatever that means for us. Like, if that means just listening, cool, in this moment. If that means us brainstorming and throwing ideas in the wall, cool. Whatever it is, I am here. You know, and so that's how I feel with those types of situations where it's like, when, say, the attack is maybe coming from something else, like, recognize it, be okay with it, and then just ask the right questions to get there. And again, your tone, always check the tone of how it's coming off and the language that you're using.
Because that's the whole mindset. Like, you know, think about it, right? Like, let's say from an outside perspective, you see me and Cindy, she talks about, why are you doing this show? And then let's say I react and go, what do you mean, why am I doing this show? I want this show because I want, you know, like, I want this because
I want, yeah.
It's for me. She's like, but I don't want you to do this because I feel like this. You know, I'm like, what does that look like to you?
Then no one's listening.
But it's like a boy and a girl fighting.
Yeah.
Like freaking little preschool kids, like, that's my teddy bear. No, that's my teddy bear. You know, like, but then like but it felt great because remember, I think one of the affirmations yesterday was, every day in every way, I'm getting better and better and better at being a man of better communication or something like that.
Yeah, communication better.
And like, that's the thing. Communication isn't always having to say your piece. I think communication is just coming from a state of mind of support, which is accept where they are and accept their reality as being real, because it is real for them. And they may not know how to communicate it to you, their partner. They just learn it from their parents or see it from their parents on how it's supposed to be done.
Right.
But I think for you and I, it's, since we're stepping up to the plate to become a man and a woman, we're making it safe for them. And we're true support.
Right.
And I love how it's changing.
Yes.
For the better. Like, she's opening up more. And, you know, yesterday I went to boiling point, right? With my wife, and like, for the longest time, I always ask shitty ass questions like, oh, how's your day? Or, you know, oh, how's the food? And just be on my phone. But there was no content there. And I kept saying to myself, man, like, how am I still interested in her? How can we go back to like how it used to be, where I was so involved in her life, like so interested. And like yesterday, it was amazing because I started asking her so many questions. I was like, why do you think that way? Or like, where do you want to be in life? It's like, I genuinely felt interest in her. And I think a lot of that came from just stepping up, giving her fully what will make her happy.
Right.
She doesn't have to tell me, you know? And it's like, I love communication now. Like,
with your wife.
With my wife and with anyone now. It's like,
Yeah.
other people, let's face it, people don't know how to communicate.
Yeah.
They don't. They don't.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still learning,
We're still learning.
Yeah.
But we're a lot better than like where we used to be.
A week ago, man, shit. So different.
But it's amazing, like how it opens up doors. And like one thing that pissed me off, but I was bothered by a bit, was that Cindy got an amazing haircut. She looks beautiful. She felt happy.
Yeah.
And she went to her mom, and then her mom's, she's like, I got the haircut, and her mom says shit like, "Oh, I can't even tell that you got a haircut," or, and it like, but Cindy didn't like come at me and go, "Oh, you're shitty" and all this stuff, like to me, which she sometimes would do because she felt pain, And then instead she would ask, "Hey, like, what would you do if your mom or dad said something like this?" And I was all like, honestly, I'd be like, fuck you, like, I'm like, that shit hurts, right? But I was like, but what I want to do is, okay, well, I respect your opinion, but this makes me happy. And the most beautiful thing happened was like she opened up and shared with me what happened, how she felt from her mom. And I was like, damn, like, was that a normal thing for you? Did you even grow up with encouragement from your parents? She's like, no, And I was like, that shit hurts because it's like, that's my wife.
Yeah, that does hurt.
That's my wife, And I'm like, yo, I'm here for you. I'm going to protect you.
Yeah.
So I feel, I feel emotional because, hey, that's my wife that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're a mom or a dad or a friend, like, that's my wife. And so I'm protective of her now,
Yeah.
And and I will continue to protect my wife. And I'm going to continue to say how beautiful she is because she deserves it, and it's true, So I just want to
I see, yeah.
I just want to share that, hey,
So similar, Kevin and Cindy. Thank you for sharing that, Tony. Like, dude, it hurts too. It hurts because your friends are hurting. It hurts because your wife or your husband is hurt.
That's your partner.
That's your partner, like, So, and you asked the right question. You know what I mean? It's that feeling of like when you discover the language or the tool and it works, and it's a sharp ass tool, your questions. They cut, they go deep. And it's so powerful because now when you learn those tools and then you execute them, you get better at using them. Or you know where they are now, in your back pocket now, versus like it took a long ass time to recognize, oh, these are the types of questions. This is the language that works with my partner.
Yeah.
Not just my language, or expecting or prejudging. Like, oh, you should be doing this already. And so that I think is very powerful. Thank you for sharing that. It's good for me to know also. Like, we're doing this together and I respect you and your marriage and the boundaries that you have and set for how we're going to do this.
Insane.
This started out as just an idea that I had, but then we turned it into so much more with you being here. And so,
we feed off each other.
Exactly. It's not just me, So that's great. I love that. I love hearing that. And
you got emotional?
I got emotional too. I'm like, what the heck? No, because it reminds me of a time when like Kevin would tell me, how hard it was for him. And the very hard contrast of my parent situation, not that it was perfect, but like it was hard hearing that he's always in a warehouse by himself and nobody wants to play with him and then I see, again, when we go visit his parents, like I just see their distance sometimes. And I just want him to feel like, I want him to feel the benefit that I feel now with my parents. I want that for him. So, it just hits home for me too, is like they're similar and I had a similar conversation. So it just reminds me of that time. But also too, I feel for Cindy. It's not just me crying about Kevin and how that hurt him. It's like, I don't want Cindy to feel like that. And I want her to feel our support. I want her to feel safe. And that when we go deep, like we can give space and time for her, you know, and that she can express and feel safe to express.
Yeah.
So that's it for me, man. Like,
Amen.
That's good. That's good to hear. So let's end with our affirmation.
Yeah. So, what's your affirmation for today?
Okay. So, I'm just gonna go with my oldie but goodie.
Hey, that's what I was thinking. Oldie but goodie.
Okay. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better and better at becoming a confident, loving, and supporting wife. That thing is gold, man.
And what about your strong? What about your body?
Yes.
What about your body?
Thank you for reminding me. Every day in every way, my body is getting better and better and better at becoming strong, flexible, mobile, and active.
Yeah. Damn.
I do feel it too.
Next body's like,
I'll be walking up the stairs, not limping for once. So it was dope. It was dope. I'm feeling it.
No.
I'm feeling it.
I
You go.
I love it. All right. So this one's an oldie but goodie. It has to be. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better and better at being a man of just sincere, great communication and support. And also every day in every way, I'm getting better and better and better at being a selfless, caring, loving, and protective man for my wife.
Love it. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in.
Thank you.
Here on this, The Golden Rule. Once again, my name is Meg.
My name is Tony.
And we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Cool.
Dang, we got all emotional.
Oh, shit.